Hi, it's Trina. Today we're going to look at creating a meditation practice. We'll talk about how to do it, the supplies you need, and what the whole purpose of meditation really is from our perspective at Spiral of the Soul. Let's get started. The purpose of meditation is to create a stronger connection between yourself and your higher mind. This gives you access to intuition and creativity that your human brain couldn't possibly think of on its own. This is going to help you to fulfill your life's purpose and to feel really great about yourself and your actions and what's going on in your life. You will experience happiness, true happiness, and success in all areas of your life through meditation. Welcome to my meditation area. So I have a little table and I already had this bolster. So this is what I sit on for meditation. And because I wanted to sit on the bolster, I had to get a little table. So the little table is from IKEA. It's one of those lack tables. So let's just talk about creating your space for meditation in terms of quietness and brightness. If your house is like mine is, you are going to get disrupted in your meditation. And then you're going to get upset with the people living with you or your pet or whatever. So you can use things like earplugs to block out the noise. What I've also done is create a sign for my door, a do not disturb sign, and I use a fan for some white noise. I also ask the people in the house if they're going to be doing anything or if we can have some quiet time. So when all of those things are in place, and there's even cars driving by making noise, we are ready to meditate. So I also have a blindfold because I like to meditate in the afternoon when I know I'm not going to fall asleep. And well, I don't know, everyone else is kind of settled into their activities. There seems to be a quiet time naturally in the afternoon, so that's become meditation time. Because it's the afternoon, some light comes into the room still, and I find that if I block it out, then I don't have to worry so much about trying to keep my eyes closed. So it's just more comfortable. So that might be something that you need to do as you go along, and but you can try without it first, right? So sitting on that, I've got these supplies ready, and of course my blanket in case I get cold and just to be cozy. I also have cozy clothes. So these, and I have my meditation leggings. So if you've ever heard of environmental priming, what we're doing really is creating a reminder to meditate. And it's important to meditate every day to get good at meditation and to be able to access that knowledge that comes from outside of us. So having these clothes sitting there waiting for me to wear them, having this display reminds me that meditation is part of my life. So this is what I was taught, was to get a flower, a rose or a bouquet of flowers as a backdrop to a white candle. And what we're going to do with the white candle is burn ourselves. It's a white candle meditation. So kind of like getting into a hypnotic state. As you sit down and focus on the candle, what you're going to find is that you have thoughts running through your head. So it's okay to let those thoughts come because your brain is always thinking anyway. You can't really stop the thoughts, but just try to slow things down. Let all the thoughts come until there aren't any more thoughts and just focus on your breathing. So breathing in, holding it, breathing out, holding it. So holding it for about half the time that you're inhaling or exhaling. And as deep as what feels comfortable for you, but you want to stretch yourself a little bit so that you build that deep breathing capacity. So that's what I do for 8 or 10 minutes, staring at the candle, letting the thoughts kind of dissipate and focusing on some breathing. Not to the point of hyperventilating, but just to the point of getting calm. Then it's time to get into a deeper meditation and not look at the candle. So I would blow out the candle and put my mask on. Then I would sit for a while and then possibly lie back for a while. Now, if you wanted to just sit at a desk and have the candle on your desk, or have nothing on your desk, maybe you don't need to stare at anything, you just need to close your eyes and focus on your breathing, then just sit in a normal chair. You can relax a little bit too, reclining. The whole point is not to fall asleep. If you need sleep, yes, absolutely sleep. However, you're going to have to work with what you have in your household and just what you want to get used to doing, right? If you're going to be traveling and you only ever have a chair to sit in, then just get used to meditating like that. I have a mess on my desk with all the things I'm creating. I don't want to have to clean it up every time, so I wanted to have a dedicated area for meditation. You'll also notice I have incense. This is sandalwood, and it's lovely. So some people would want that, some not. So when I light that, the smoke goes in front of the candle, and it's just a message to my brain that it's time to connect to my higher mind and slow down and just focus on that. Okay, so another point, I suppose, is you could have a guided meditation. So sometimes this is good, a guided meditation, and then it turns off without the next thing coming on after that. And then it takes you to a certain point where you just focus for yourself after that. Or you start with no guided meditation and you just get used to silence and pushing your thoughts away, just like, okay, I'll deal with you later, don't worry about it. Or even have a notepad and a pen, write it down, and then toss it to the side, that you'll deal with it later. What you'll notice probably at the end of meditation, if you've asked a question or if you're trying to solve a problem, you might have some thoughts coming up. And that's a good time to just grab that piece of paper and write those down. Just like if you were dreaming and in the middle of the night you needed to write something down. You might get to that sort of point. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Basically, you don't need anything, no supplies, nothing. You just need to be comfortable wherever you are. But supplies can help you to get into the spirit of things, get into the moment, and it can be a visual reminder for you to take some time for meditation. All right, so next we're going to talk about an experience that I had in meditation. When I first started to undergo my personal transformation, I had gone for energy work. And during that energy work, the energy practitioner said to me, "Your body is craving spirituality." I had no idea what that meant. And she said, "You're going to have to find out." So I went on a self-help book journey, obsession, reading everything I could about spirituality at the level that I was ready for. And I also decided that I was going to try meditation. So the yoga center that I was going to, they had a Saturday afternoon meditation, 3 o'clock for half an hour, and I decided to attend. So the first 2 times I attended, the only thing that happened is that I was uncomfortable, my leg fell asleep, someone coughed and it was annoying, those kinds of things. So the third time, and this was probably a couple months later, that I finally made it back to the center, I explained to the instructor that I hadn't been successful and I was just wanting to try again, but this is what was going on with my body. So she said, "Okay, we're going to do you sitting up for 15 minutes and then I'll tell you when it's time to lie back." And she gave us a mantra. So for the first 15 minutes, we repeated this. So with our eyes closed, whatever position is comfortable, you don't have to be in the lotus position. You can do whatever is comfortable with your hands. Some people want to receive, some people want to do the Om sign with their hands. Whatever you pick up on as you go along and whatever you want to do, make it your own. So what we did was we inhaled love, exhale peace. Inhale, peace. Exhale, love. So we didn't say that out loud. We just said it within our head. So we go like love in, peace out, peace in, love out. And we just breathed while we mentally said that. So saying a mantra like that is helpful if you have a lot of thoughts coming at you, because while you're concentrating on that, you're not doing any thinking. So it can be very useful. So she came in after 15 minutes and she said, go ahead and lie back. So I did so. And then she said, we'll repeat the breathing for a little bit. So probably 8 or 10 minutes more of doing that. And then she said, okay, each one of you came here today for a specific reason. I want you to go there now and ask the question if there's a question you want an answer to or whatever. So I thought about it and I said, yeah, the reason I wanted to come today was to know what meditation feels like. All of a sudden in my mind, there was a circle, and that circle went off to the upper right-hand corner of my view in my mind's eye, and I heard the message, you are not that stuff. All of that stuff is not you. All of those requirements, all of that programming, all of those things you need to be and do are not you. They are all just in this circle in the corner of your mind. And that was an amazing realization. I felt so free, like I could just get rid of that stuff and that it wasn't me. And I basically broke down. I was crying. I was sobbing. It was so beautiful that I could just be me and have my own identity without worrying about expectations and all the things I had been taught my whole life. So that was a pivotal moment for me, and someone sending me a message of exactly what I needed to hear. You may not have an experience like that. Some people go on to enlightenment where they feel like they are part of that universal energy. I have had nothing anywhere near feeling that. But what I have had are messages like that from my higher self. You're not that stuff. Or here's an answer to your problem. Here's a suggestion for what you can do with your life. So as we practice our meditation, we're opening up that channel between our human brain, that ego self, and our higher mind, which is connected to universal mind and that higher power. And that is the access to our life purpose, our answers to tough questions. Who are we? What happens in this life? What are we supposed to be doing? What will make my life meaningful? As you practice your meditation, you will gain access to little bits of that. You will never know like the big picture answer because you couldn't possibly handle that much information. You will only know the next couple steps. And if you take the next couple steps and then all of a sudden you get a message to take a step this way, that's okay, because you're going from point A to B and then from B to C, but you couldn't have gone from point A to C because your brain would not have wrapped itself around it. You would have resisted that and you would have never taken that big step. So trust those messages that you're getting. And some people see, some people hear. I get a sense of knowing. So learn, which messages are coming from your higher self, which ones are ego-based, telling you to fight or run or hide, those kinds of things. And you will begin to get that guidance in your life that you might have been missing your whole life. You'll start to feel like you are important, that you are part of something bigger. And that bigger thing is love. And you are love. You are loved, and you can love yourself. So hopefully you enjoyed that teaching, that meditation teaching. Please practice your meditation regularly. Some days are crazy and you don't have time, but even at lunchtime, just take 5 minutes. And that might be a good time to do a guided meditation. Pop in your earbuds and just, drown out the world, get comfortable, even put a sign out, I'm meditating, please do not disturb, and try to fit it in as much as possible. When you connect to your higher self, not all that stuff that isn't you, you're going to begin to see some wonderful changes in your life. You're going to be happier and have success in all areas, your relationships, your career, your decision making. Things are going to change. So, congratulations for learning about meditation today and for trying it. Again, you can just try it without buying all the things. Do some more research and see what resonates with you. Thanks for watching a Spiral of the Soul teaching, and please check out the website spiralofthesoul.org, where you'll learn about life purpose and lots of other teachings from a metaphysical and personal growth perspective. See you soon.